right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here. Crypto Clan World, it's good to see you as always. Estella, welcome in. You entered a Fartcoin short, and it won't go down. Well, we could see this volatility come in soon, so we can talk about Fartcoin, we can talk about Bitcoin, some of the other altcoins here in this live stream. Chi-chan, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, Fartcoin, definitely lower volume, and it's also a meme coin. There's a little bit of hanky-panky that goes on with those things sometimes, so definitely not a coin that I would be trading with. I guess there's better options for me, but welcome in. Time Attack, much love to you, man, as always. Yes, please hit the smash the like button, guys, on your way in. Thank you for being here, Time Attack. Thank you for modding, as always. Tank Wiper, what's up, man? What altcoin has good correlation with Bitcoin? Well, I actually think a couple altcoins do have pretty good correlation with Bitcoin. I think Solana is one of them. It's one of the bigger altcoins. It's held up fairly well like Bitcoin has. But another coin that not a lot of people pay attention to that really made a significant new all-time highs this cycle, unlike a lot of the other altcoins, was BNB. And I think BNB is one of those coins that holds up pretty well compared to a lot of the other altcoins. In this cycle, it made significant new all-time highs, you know, coming up to what, like $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 in this cycle, pretty much doubling its old all-time highs from its prior cycle. And that's one of the coins that I think is holding up fairly well, like Bitcoin is, overall within its larger perspective of things. Good evening, Michael Mitzau. Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. R Pink, much love to you as always. Thank you for being here. Thank you for modding. Thank you for all the hard work you do. Appreciate you so much. Full Port, welcome in. CJ, what's up, man? I won. Yes, you're right, man. You were right. It did go to 70K first before going to 57. Now, we knew 70K and really 71K was a big area of resistance that we needed to break above to see continuation to the upside. I'm going to go into this right now, but welcome in and glad to see you in here, CJ. Jojo, good evening to you. Mr. Wreckage-Chun, much love as always. Lil Rich, TNB Willa, Bansbell, Dr. Rex, Mind Tapestry, blessings to you as well. Rudy 10, Golden Liquidations, Chicken Salt, Samuel S, Machi HK, and Sudeep. Love you guys all. Thank you so much for being here. Samuel Sudeep, thank you so much for modding as always. Okay, guys, so what we were looking at with Bitcoin, let me just zoom in onto the 1 hour chart. We bounced from a pretty key value area low. This range now has been going on for about 2 months. Actually, I think we've officially hit the 2-month mark now. Yeah, we're about 2 months into it, about 60 days into this range here. The important thing, though, we did reject from that key kind of lower high anchored VWAP area. And on Bybit, it was a little bit higher. It was up in this area here, but it was also our key 0.5 Fibonacci. And we started that move down with an impulsive move to the downside. And anytime you hit into a range high or you fail to break out of a range and then you start with an impulse down, it is more likely that you are going to come down towards the range lows to that important volume support of the range, or to grab important liquidity trails left within the range. We still have some liquidity left within this range, internal liquidity left within this range that we could come down and take and see nice bounces from. But what we've been looking at here is overall, the primary bearish scenario was a multiple 1-2, or at first we were looking at just a single 1-2, but when this range started going too long, we now changed that to a multiple 1-2 impulse, a double 1-2, like 1-2, 1-2, and then you're going to see that big third wave come into the downside. I do have to say your secondary 2 wave is now becoming quite a bit longer than your initial 2 wave, and that is not something you generally want to see in a dump to the downside, in a multiple 1-2 to the downside. So that's lowering the probabilities. But what we need to pay attention to is this low was a weekend low. First of all, we did grab some important liquidity and we got back in the value. We got back above the value area low, and we've really held the value area low of this range. It is largely, for the most part, held. So we expected a move up to the POC of the range. If you guys remember, I was looking at the Coinbase POC rather than the Bybit POC in order to see that bigger dump to the downside. Once we did touch that Coinbase POC, we got an aggressive move to backtest the value area low, but it held once again. And so now we're pushing up and we're breaking up to new local highs. We did hit our $70,000 one-to-one Fibonacci, trend-based Fibonacci extinction. So we need to analyze this structure here to understand whether this looks more corrective or looks more impulsive to me. And in impulsive structure, you generally see gaps where you have these big explosive third waves, or you'll get the rarest is an explosive elongated one, and then you get your 2, 3, 4, 5. Elongated one is the lowest probability, and then sometimes you will get a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then an extended fifth wave, which actually does happen quite commonly in crypto with those kind of blow off tops that you see. But we're looking for impulsive moves within here, gaps within the structure, right? You don't want to see a bunch of choppy overlap in here, choppy overlap, because then that makes it look more corrective. So we have a bunch of choppy overlap in this first week of movement to the upside, saw the rejection from the POC, and then we finally did see within that somewhat of a gap to the downside between all of these lows and then the consolidation that started down in this area. But we did bounce and make a higher low. And then what we've been looking at since that higher low last Thursday is the possibility of an impulsive move. And the reason why we started to look at impulsive moves is because over Easter weekend, we saw this good pump in here where we did see some gaps starting to fill. So what looked like, some wave 3 price action, some impulsive price action to the upside. Overall, one of the things that we were looking at is because this was all corrective price action, but we did make a higher low, that is when we can pull our trend-based Fibonacci extinction from the lows of that corrective move to the highs of that corrective move to the higher low that was created. And you're looking at your overall more complex, larger zigzag correction, complex correction. And the target before those zigzag complex corrections is between the 1-to-1 and the 1.236 Fibonacci extinction. Well, pumped over Easter weekend, we got above the POC, we flipped the POC locally to support, and then we started to grind our way up here yesterday, up into hitting that 1-to-1 Fibonacci, trend-based Fibonacci extinction. We hit into that extinction and we rejected pretty hard here. We started to see that rejection pretty hard, and we're even now today starting to lose the POC of the range of the past 2 months. And if we do start to close today's daily candle below the POC, then it does make it more likely that this 3-wave corrective complex correction is over, rejecting from its target zone, and we could see that big dump to take out those weekend lows from a couple Sundays ago. Now, in yesterday's video, we weren't down this far yet, and we hadn't invalidated this impulse. And I talked about this impulse in the Telegram over the weekend, and we talked about it a little bit in yesterday's video. But because of this Thursday low here, we have some choppiness in here. You could be looking at a multiple 1-2 impulse where then you get your big third wave, and then you're going to see some 4, 5s, 4, 5s. And if it's a double 1-2 impulse, which I initially looked at, 1, 2, 1, 2, you get your 3 here, 4, 5, 4, 5. There is a count where this impulse is finished, and now you are about to dump to the downside here. But in order to say, what do we know if this impulse is finished? Because of all this crappy choppiness that happened really, towards the end of the week and beginning of the weekend, it wasn't clear. There was a couple ways to count this structure here. So we wanted to have more clarity in yesterday's video on whether this impulse could be done or not. If this was all the wave 3 and we were going to see a pullback in a wave 4 before starting to get a new high in a wave 5, overall seeing something like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is your general structure of the impulse. But in yesterday's video, we said, okay, what's the invalidation for that? Well, if you go to the lows, from the lows of wave 3 to the highs of wave 3, you do not want to hit the golden pocket that is at $68,000 and 68,043. We have now hit that golden pocket this morning with the dump that we saw this morning. So we have now invalidated that this could be an unfinished impulse, a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, 4, and then a 5 coming up to around 71K. That count has at least now been hard invalidated. And we can say, hey, maybe this impulsive move here, all this choppy, these couple 1, 2s you get in here, and then 3s, and then 4 and 5s, maybe this is done. And we are about to roll over and see us sweep a lot of this liquidity that has been building over the past couple of weeks. We also can say now that we did reject from the 1-to-1 trend-based Fibonacci extinction, and now we are invalidating the continuation of impulsive price action to the upside. So it makes this entire structure now have a greater probability of being a corrective structure before now seeing some aggressive movement to the downside. Another thing that we are fooling around with right now, we haven't seen a clear loss of it yet, but we're at the bottom of the pitchfork band. And what we wanted to see in yesterday's video, I was talking about how we would want to really hold the bottom of this pitchfork band and then see that, 5-wave impulse up to the top of the pitchfork band. If we were going to hold on the bullish backtest of this pitchfork band, it was likely we were going to work our way up to 71K. Now, we're chopping a lot through it. And I wouldn't say we haven't lost it yet, because actually, as we speak, we're right at it right now, as we're speaking live here right now. But the fact that we are starting to see some weakness, and what I do not like that we saw this morning is we got our initial dump to the downside. You can see this movement here is very clearly a 3-wave corrective structure. We rejected from that anchored VWAP area on that 3-wave corrective structure, and then we saw a big imbalance candle come into the downside, meaning continuation to the downside with higher volume than the corrective move to the upside. So that already is a strike that, hey, are we going to see this hold and then really start to make your way up? I have to say right now it does look a little bit more bearish, unless we can start to actually reclaim this POC, and maybe this was just some fake out here. Another thing that we look for, I just want to talk about this right now while it's on my mind, is we look for that selling exhaustion and buying exhaustion, right? So up in this area, after the weekend pump for Easter, we saw that we started to get that choppy overlap in this channel here. And when you start to get this choppy overlap after an aggressive pump, is buying exhaustion coming in. And when you see this buying exhaustion, and then you come on your oscillators and you see that it's developing bear divs with money flow draining out, or bear divs here, as you're forming this exhaustive type structure, you're looking for a potential reversal. Man, yesterday I am actually quite bummed that I didn't take that swing failure pattern. The only reason I didn't take it, because at the time, Market Cypher's money flow on the hour and the 15-minute looked so strong. But in hindsight, looking back on this, we had all of our confirmations here, and we got the confirmed swing failure pattern, right? When you pierce above the level, grab the liquidity above, and then start to fall below it, that is your confirmed short. Whether you have the bear divs or not, that is a good trade to take. And if you guys got into that short trade yesterday, I would say congratulations. I would be staying in that and holding on to that, because that could be the sign of aggressive move down. But at the same time that yesterday we were seeing the buying exhaustion come in here, and we were looking at the bear divs. Now what we are seeing in this move down, we saw our initial aggressive move down here. And what we are starting to see now is some choppy overlap in here with bull divs forming on the chart. And this is the bull's hope that, you really need to get back above this POC here. But let me just go in onto the 30-minute time frame, and I'll throw that channel on the chart. If we look at pulling a channel from the 2 lows to that first high, lower high here, we are starting to see that choppy price action. And just a couple hours before the stream, twice we're attempting to reject from the highs of that channel, and really the POC. So if we can continue to chop up in here and not break out of this channel, I expect to move back down to the bottom of the channel, which is, I'm actually looking for a scalp long opportunity in this area. I will show you that in just a second. On the other hand, right now, Bitcoin does not look like it's wanting to reject here. It doesn't look like it's wanting to reject. And if we can break out of this channel, break above the POC, flip it very locally, then I would expect that we could come up maybe even to grab the highs or up to that 71K area, because then that would mean that this overall is looking like a bigger three-wave corrective move. And then we're going to continue up in our bullish market structure from the Thursday lows, right? It's still bullish market structure. Yeah, man, we're seeing a little bit of a pump right now here on Bitcoin on the 30-minute chart. I was looking, and I posted about this in the Telegram this morning, but let me go ahead and get rid of this channel for a second. I wanted to come down a little bit lower here. If we look at pulling a golden pocket from our Thursday lows, that back test of the value area low, up to the highs that we made yesterday, we have a golden pocket coming in right around 67,500 to 67,300, right around that area. And if we look at our naked daily points of controls, remember, within these ranges, volume levels are very, very important. And a naked daily point of control, we do have in perfect confluence with that golden pocket. Now, one of the things that we're starting to see is that buying exhaustion, selling exhaustion come in here on this choppiness that is forming to the downside. And we are starting to create some bull dip confirmations on the chart here. So what we could look for is if we are going to roll over, not be able to reclaim this POC in the top of the channel, and we do roll over here, coming down into that golden pocket at the bottom of the channel with our naked daily point of control there, it could give us the opportunity for multiple drives of bull div, lower low, lower low, lower low, higher low, higher low, higher low. And hopefully by then our money flows crossing up into the green here, and we could pretty much just see a reversal of what we saw up here, where it gave us at least a scalp short trade. We could see a scalp long trade from this golden pocket around $67,500, and we could hold that scalp trade long with the assumption that we might be able to continue this structure up to 71K, up into this general purple box of resistance up here. So I will be looking for that. I hope that we do get to see that roll over here and come down and get that trade available. That might not happen until today, till after the stream today. And we do have to remember, guys, yes, we're technical based traders, but the thing with the macroeconomics and geopolitics of the world, they do affect the price action. It's the cycles of fear and greed and how human psychology affects the market. And we do know that today is a pretty big day as far as Trump's deadline and what's going on geopolitically right now. And this could have a major impact on the market depending on what happens this evening here. So we have to be ready, because if it is something that is going to be devastating or bearish, just maybe more action oriented, then we could see this 1-2, 1-2, and then we could see a big 3 come busting down here, and we have to watch out for some aggressive dumps to the downside, which I would expect us to sweep all this liquidity, that this 3-wave overall structure is finished, and we did reject from our 1-to-1 target, and now we are about to see that impulsive price action come into the downside, where we could at least sweep the couple weekend lows that are the weekend low and the Thursday low that we have, and even maybe come sweep some of the bigger liquidity that's left down here within this sideways range. Let's go to the 1-hour chart. All right, so yeah, we're just chopping around the POC. The thing about this today, guys, this morning, we lost the POC, and once again, we lost it kind of with that imbalance candle. And this move up that we're seeing is really just coming up to fill the fair value gap that was created from that candle. This candle here created a fair value gap. We push up aggressively, you get sucked into the fair value gap, so then you fill it aggressively, you get vacuum sucked up to fill that fair value gap. As soon as that fair value gap filled, now we're starting to chop back again underneath the POC. And that could give us our break to the downside eventually. Now, if we continue to chop within this channel, nice and slow, grindy, choppy overlap, once again, I will be looking for potential longs at this golden pocket because we do also have a naked daily point of control there. And we do have some bull divs setting up on the chart. If we can get those bull divs continuing to set up on the chart, it would at least give me a scalp long opportunity. Okay, let me check the chat here. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Now, BNB, we talked about BNB last week on Friday during the live stream, and we are coming up into that kind of key zone where we could be looking for that short. We're chopping around a little bit too much in here around our value area low, but overall within this bigger sideways range that we've been in for 2 months on BNB, we came down and we swept the liquidity, all this liquidity here, but you can see our range lows, we double bottomed those, and actually it's pretty much a double bottom. It did barely front run that liquidity. And anytime you see a double bottom like that where you don't actually take the liquidity, you have to be aware, and we're also losing the value area low of the range that was holding for the prior 2 weeks. You lose it with volume to the downside. If you see slow, choppy corrective grind to the upside to back test that value area low, that is when you could see that rejection from the value area low. And if you reject from that value area low, you expect to sweep this low, which would pretty much be sweeping this low as well. So we would come down and sweep that liquidity. And I think we could even come down a little bit further to hit that 1-to-1 Fibonacci extinction and that weekly level below us. So I have not taken the short here yet on BNB, but we are at our golden pocket, pulled from the last kind of high to the low, and we are at the value area low, the bearish backtest of the value area low. And this is possibly an opportunity for taking out those lows into $555, where then I would be looking for nice swing long opportunities. Jesus Save 77, welcome in, my friend. Thank you so much for being here. Jochum Boulder, welcome in. Peace to you and much love to you. Would definitely say the move to 70.3K yesterday looks impulsive and the move down today looks corrective. Yes, so if we're going back to Bitcoin real quick, the problem with this though, so this is within this range here. Let me get to the 1 hour chart. Within this, from Thursday's lows, this move up that we saw in particular on Easter Sunday does look impulsive. It was a major increase in volume. So if we come in and we look at our volume on the charts, look at as we were moving up, we were seeing a major increase in volume on the move to the upside. And that is the first kind of structure that we've had over the past couple weeks that looks impulsive, because all of this, there's a lot of choppy overlap in here and it's not too impulsive looking. But there's a difference between this structure here after getting a corrective move, making a lower high, and this structure here, especially yesterday, was really looking impulsive. And so we wanted to see what are the invalidations for this impulse here. And unfortunately, Chichan, I know that this does look impulsive, but we have now invalidated. We either completed that impulse, right? So you either completed the impulse at these highs, or you've now invalidated the impulse by hitting the golden pocket at $68,000. But to me, this looks like a completed impulse to the upside. If we're looking at 1-2s, 1-2s, you get your big 3 in here, you get some 4-5s, 4-5s. And once again, those 4-5s, you start to see that choppy overlap, that buying exhaustion with bear divs on the chart. So it could be that this is done and now we're about to roll over here. But yes, I have to agree with you. And even in yesterday's video, this dump to the downside, even though we were starting to see some gappage and some imbalances within this candle here, if we go back to our order flow, when we look at our order flow, this price action here was largely a long squeeze to the downside. You can see as we were dumping in here, your CVD was decreasing, meaning shorts were coming in, but it wasn't fresh shorts coming in that were pushing the price down. It was a huge drop in open interest. So it was late longers. Really, we saw a lot of longers longing this area here. So it was longer, it's getting stopped out. So in other words, a long squeeze, which is not as healthy of a move to the downside as a good new positions pushing the price down. And then after that, the only reason why I was looking for new lows this morning was because of this three-wave corrective move, a very clear three-wave corrective move here. And once you kind of confirm that three-wave corrective move, now you're looking to come down and at least take out those lows. And we did, and we kind of just continuing to see some choppy overlap in here. Like I said, we do have the golden pocket. We do have another golden pocket that we're bouncing from. Let me see if it was at this one here. This golden pocket you're relatively bouncing from, or you could even, I don't like this internal low as much, but you can see you are bouncing from the golden pocket there. But the key golden pockets really to look at are from the more swing lows, and this is an internal low and it's a higher low. And I get that this one is as well, but this dump was a significant correction in here. And so, and also this was a weekend, or excuse me, a Thursday low, back testing the value area low. So this golden pocket, to me, the larger golden pocket, is the better golden pocket to be looking at. And we are losing the POC, and you can see even in the past, 3-4 hours, 1 test, 2 tests, 3, 4, 4 candles underneath it, testing it multiple times. We're just not able to break it. And as well as our corrective structure, we're just not able to break out of this channel. If we can, I really would like to get that opportunity to roll down here, to come down and hit that with more drives of bull div, because that could give us a really good long opportunity. Another thing that we want to look at is, honestly, guys, this is very, very hard to count a impulse within this area here. Could you say maybe in some ways this could be like some sort of contracting diagonal in here? And then, because what we're looking for in an ABC, you need to see an impulse within your A wave, some sort of motive wave structure within your A wave, and you need to see some sort of impulsive structure within your C wave. So if we're looking at this bigger thing as an A, B, C, you did hit your one-to-one target, and you are rejecting from that one-to-one target, but it's hard to say that there's a clear impulsive structure within this first A wave then, right? On the other hand, with all this choppy overlap and corrective price action, a WXY pretty much is the same thing, a WXY. It's just a more complex corrective version of a zigzag correction, and you generally see 3-wave overlap, right? So you kind of get that 3-wave overlap. Even this here is just horrible. You could say, move up 1, 2, 3, and then that you get even a WXY in here, right? You get a WXY within your W wave, then you get the X here, and then this could be your Y wave, and now you're done. The WXY overall, we're still looking for the same sort of zigzag corrective structure to end between the 1-to-1 and the 1.236, and then to roll over and come down. So no matter how we're looking at the Elliott wave counts here, we are rejecting from this important area here. I just don't like, Chichon, I have to agree with you. I don't like how this looks for the start of an impulsive structure. But the thing is, if we are going to see that big dump to the downside, this is actually good to see for an impulsive structure, because a double 1-2 impulse, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then if you do get that 3 coming in, you're going to break through this with high volume. You're going to continue down here. And unfortunately, we might have some macroeconomic events, macro geopolitical events that could align with a big wave 3 dump to the downside as well. So yes, right now I do have to agree with you. It looks corrective, but that doesn't mean that it can't start to turn into an impulsive structure. Chad P, welcome in, my friend. It's good to see you in here as always. Not quicker, welcome in as well. Wanted to ask if we have the moon phase planetary alignment person in the chat today. Yeah, I'm not sure, guys. Is the guy who loves the moons in here today? Let us know in the chat. Glasshopper77, welcome in, my friend. Are you bullish overall on SUI? For me, SUI, I am, like, as far as fundamentals go, I am bullish on SUI. But let me show you. Let's just zoom out to the 8-hour real quick on SUI. One thing that I don't like about SUI within this range, now we did take out just the other day. What did I just do there? Let me just back that up a couple. We took out some important liquidity a couple Sundays ago, and we're seeing a decent move up. But within this larger range on SUI, we still have not taken out, or we took out that liquidity. We still have not taken out the low, but we're starting to chop below the value area low. What I could say about this is that this structure in here looks like a corrective structure, kind of losing the value area low. I guess you're chopping in and around it quite a bit here, but I'm just worried about us starting to see weakness in and below the value area low here. Also, what I would have to say about this is this looks impulsive, and so does this in here. And if you zoom in on lower time frames, it is pretty clear that you can see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here, an impulse here. You get that 3-wave corrective move here, and then there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here. So could this be, and remember, impulse, correction, impulse could be two things. It could be an ABC, right? A, B, C. Overall, you're making a higher low within the structure. You could see that move back up. Or it could be a 1, 2. Now, if this was a 3, you would have wanted to see this continue a little bit more. Let's actually look at our trend-based Fibonacci extinction to see where we ended that. So we didn't even quite make it to the 1-to-1 Fibonacci, trend-based Fibonacci extinction. So for me, you couldn't classify that as an impulse, really, right? Like a larger one. 1, 2, you would have wanted to see this 3 extend quite a bit here. 4 or 5, something like that. But I would say this dump down does look pretty aggressive, and now we're chopping sideways here in what looks like to be corrective, overlappy price action, lower volume. You can even look at this kind of channel that's forming in here. And to me, actually, let's bring it to that first high there. Yeah. And then to me, we could be looking at unfortunately, the more bearish structure, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then you're going to see that big 3 and then some 4, 5s coming in here. Let's zoom out to the daily chart. And what I will say about SUI here is you are right around the POC of your macro prior range, this lower range. Like there's two big levels, two big kind of ranges. And I get that this one is a little bit more trendy than normal range, but we have, of course, our upper range up here for SUI, and then we kind of have a lower range in here for SUI. And we are overall hanging out by the POC of your prior range, which is a very important volume support, considered fair value back in the day, a year to 3 years, 2 to 3 years ago. And if we hold this overall, there is a possibility we can work our way up to back test at least the value area low of this upper range. So if we're looking at this upper range in here, let's just throw this. You could come all the way up to 224 to back test that value area low. And it would sweep nicely some of this, this entire move down here. Big thing I see on SUI overall, if we look at from the highs, from our lower highs here at 451. Let me just, actually, I'll just leave that on for now, but we'll hide this little range that past 2 months. But what we saw here, okay, if we're looking at a bigger, unfortunately, this could be a 1, 2, all of this is a 3. We're still looking for a 4 and then a 5, right? To come down overall, to come down to that 50, 59, 60 cent area. Even within your wave 3, if this was the wave 1, we have that corrective move in a wave 2, and we're looking on the daily time frame on a big wave 3 to the downside. First off, you've not quite hit the 1.618, but you got pretty close to hitting that 1.618 at 70 cents. But looking at the start of this move on the daily time frame, look at this corrective choppy overlap in here, and then followed by an aggressive dump, right? So what are we looking at then? If it's impulsive, we're looking at some 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's 3 1 2s. Then you get your big dump in a 3. Here's your first 4. Here's your first 5. So now we would need another 4, 5, 4, 5. You would need a couple more. You would need some more choppy overlap in here, making some new lows in order to see this being the start of that impulse and this being the end of the impulse with kind of this in the middle, right? And so, yes, overall, the grand scheme of things on SUI is we could see some more kind of choppy sideways and down, taking out, making some new lows. And then after this entire wave 3 ends on the weekly time frame from 450 to wherever it's going to end, maybe 70 cents or so, you would expect a move up to around the 382 or the 0.5 Fibonacci before potentially seeing another low come in, you know, towards the end of the year. And that would kind of be your bear market for SUI. For now, in this local range, we're focused on trading this range until it breaks, right? A couple weeks ago, I know it was a weekend, but we did grab that internal low right into our POC of support, and we are holding and we're making bullish market structure. It's just not looking the best to me. If we come in and look at our volume here, you can see as we're correcting up within this channel that I just laid out, volume is decreasing here. And it just doesn't look the best. It doesn't look the best to me. NAMI did print some bull divs coming into that low on the daily time frame. And so that means we could see a couple weeks of a move to the upside. And if we look at this move up, you can see from that liquidity grab, starts with a nice 3-wave corrective move. Okay. 3-wave corrective move here. WX is done. Now we could be in the Y wave here where we're looking for a 3-wave corrective move to finish your overall WXY correction and then roll over. So that means locally we could see another push to the upside. I would be looking at the golden pocket. Then in that case, we could be looking at the golden pocket pulled from the low to the high here. Okay, we're chopping a little bit too much through that golden pocket for me to be hold. Even coming down to the 786 just below us would be better. And what we would want to see as we're coming down to that 85.6 is once again that selling exhaustion coming in here, right? Exhaustion in here. You'd want to see bull divs between this low, and this low. And then I'm sure we can look at, actually, you do have a bit of an imbalance in here with this candle, a fair value gap in here. So you have a fair value gap and probably a naked, not monthly. Yeah, you do have a naked daily point of control, but it's going to be closer to your 886. And you generally don't want to come that low. You could, though. Okay, I'm so far behind in the chat. Dumped Bitcoin, are you both? Solana blasted, yes. Okay, guys, first off, on Solana is playing out super, super nicely here. The other day on Solana, in this corrective range in here. So first off, we lost our big pitchfork. You know, we've been trading below it. But one of the things that we were looking at on Solana last week was making that, let me just go in onto the 2-hour time frame. And let me get rid of this for a second. I told you guys I was looking for the short around $82.5 to $83 because we were starting to, first off, we grabbed important liquidity into a naked daily point of control between 77 and 76.7, right in this box of support. We've had this box of support on the charts since way back here, since like the beginning of March. And we were expecting to see at least some sort of bounce from an important liquidity grab into an important volume support. So we got that move. And then I was telling you guys, I'm looking for the around $83. We also had a daily level up there. I think I've deleted it now off the chart, but if we come in and mark that out, you can see we had a daily level right at $83. So I was looking to come up between the POC golden pocket daily level for a potential rejection and then see a move back down. And the reason why I was looking for a potential big rejection here was because this overall move from grabbing liquidity looks like a three-wave corrective structure. And so if we have a three-wave corrective structure that is rejecting on a lower high overall, you could continue down here. And so what we're looking at for Solana is I did short that. I got in a little bit later on 80, I think 82.54 was my entry on Solana. And then I took some profit on the SFP this morning. I let you guys know that in the Telegram. We came down here, we grabbed liquidity, and look at the move up we're seeing from the liquidity grab. And I told you guys I was looking to enter a hedge long, and I did end up taking a small position on that hedge, but I did get out of most of it when we back tested the larger value area low at 80.7. Anyways, so Solana, you know, wow, it's really starting to push here now. Let's look at the golden pocket, because right before the stream, I was pulling this golden pocket here, and it looks like we're breaking it. Okay, we're right at it now, pretty much. Let's see if we wick this, because I'm looking for the potential, because this was a three-wave corrective move. Now I'm looking at this being a wave one, a wave two, before seeing a 3, 4, 5, before seeing an impulse to the downside to finish. So we want to see a rejection from this area, or like a little bit higher, 786. Let's look at our naked dailies. Do we see any naked dailies in here? Yeah, you're going to have a naked daily close to that 786 Fibonacci. A little bit higher than that 786. Let's see if we get some sort of reaction where we're at right now, guys. And the reason why is because the move up over the past week or so is a three-wave move here. It doesn't look like it wants to. Is Bitcoin pumping? Let's go back to Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin's attempting to break out of the channel. Let's see if we're going to get this break. If we reject again here, guys, I will be looking for a rollover to come down to that naked daily. What's the CBD looking like? Okay, let's look at our CBD here. Huge spike in open interest now. Yeah, some fresh longs stepping in right now, guys. That actually could be a bad thing, though, because if we're going to see fresh longs stepping in at your POC resistance and your POC and your channel top right here, fresh longs stepping in right into resistance, that could be fuel. If we do not break above this, that's going to be fuel to push us down. So let's see if we get that push down from this. Or what would be even really nice here is to grab this liquidity of these two little highs, and then if we fall back inside the channel, that could be a short. Am I in a BTC long? No, I did not take a long this morning. I was looking to get in at 67.5, and I still am looking to get in around 67.5. Paper Beats Rock, welcome in. And Joe Alexander, welcome in as well. How can we add to the short? So hopefully you took some profit on that short. Like if you shorted this SFP up here at $70,000, you know, maybe you took some profit this morning, or if you took some profit, you know, yesterday, what you're now going to be looking for is a lower high. I would actually be very careful adding to a short here, because this choppy overlap, if it breaks, I expect us to sweep it all. I expect us to come up to 71 probably. But if you're looking to add to a short, you can always look at your important levels within the range, right? Like this is an upper range that we're seeing. from yesterday, from Easter Sunday. So you can pull that volume profile of that little range. And to me, I don't like the golden pocket too much, although you do have this liquidity sweep of this channel. Remember, this is a channel, guys, that has just been created today. It's not based off of this price action. It's only based off of this price action in here. So what we're looking at is you do have a sweep of the channel liquidity into a golden pocket around 69.4. That could be a decent short, but I do like, I have to say, the POC of this mini range, as well as the 786, and you have a naked daily point of control up there. So if you shorted 70K and you want to add to your short, I would wait. If we come up here with some bear divs, you can add to a short in that general zone of resistance and then look to take it down to 69.5 or lower. I'm very interested to see what happens right now here, because depending on what happens here, we could see some nice moves to the downside. Okay, continuing to see an open interest increase here. Continuing to see fresh longs stepping in, guys. We're seeing fresh longs trying to break out. Essentially breakout traders trying to break out of this channel here and break out above the POC. So it's either going to be really good and they're going to be successful and they're going to break it. In that case, I would be looking to come up to around 69.9 to around 69.7. If we fail, it's going to be used as fuel. And I have a very strong suspicion we're at least going to come down to 67,500. There's a big difference between Coinbase and Bybit. Yes, you're right. That Dr. Rex, the POCs are different on Coinbase and Bybit. On Bybit, we bounce from the POC and we are above the POC. Okay, let me check that POC on Bybit. And I will hide this. This green box here, guys, is your prior all-time highs. 65K, 69K, that was your prior cycle all-time highs. So we are in that zone where generally Bitcoin does hold. It comes back down to backtest your prior all-time highs and holds. Wow, interesting. Very, very nice actually to see that. I do have to say I like the Coinbase volume levels better. And this is a nice bounce from your Bybit POC. And you are starting to get that choppy overlap. Let's just see how... Really, essentially what I'm watching for right now is, are we going to break out of the channel? And we're starting to attempt to here. Let's see if we grab the liquidity and see a move back inside the channel. So if we grab this, which we are doing right now, it doesn't look like we want to. It looks like we're going to see a breakout here. But if we grab this and then move back inside the channel, then I would be looking for a short down to $69,500. If we kind of chop around in here for 15, 20 minutes and see chop, I would be expecting the breakout and a move up. Probably up to this purple box area. All right, we grabbed liquidity into the anchored VWAP. Let's go on to the 5-minute chart. Let's see if we have... Okay, fresh long stepping in. Let's go. Man, look at all that liquidity below us too, right into that $67,500 golden pocket naked daily. We have the potential now for some bear divs as well. Higher highs on the price action, lower highs on the momentum waves here on the 5-minute. Let me go to the 15-minute and let's see how that looks. Yeah, you do have potential for bear divs here as well. Not confirmed yet. And you even have potential for 1-minute bear divs in here between these highs. Yeah, interesting, guys. This could be a fake out just to grab this liquidity of this kind of imbalance candle here, that big wick. And if we start to fall back inside, I would really be looking for a move down to 67.5. What's up, Big Deals Whale, Ryan Henson, and Johnny? Welcome in, you guys. Johnny, we will check render. I just want to see what's going to happen with Bitcoin here real quick, and then we can go into render. Check red coin. Yeah, we can check red coin as well. Yes, thank you, R Pink. In a second, I will go over that. So thank you for posting those links for me, R Pink. Appreciate you so much as always. Sleepy, welcome in. Almost 100 million longs open in this candle. Yeah, we are seeing a big aggressive move up in open interest here. And I don't like how we're starting to chop here around these highs. It's not looking too hot here, guys, for an SFP short. Moving averages are saying breakout. Okay. Yeah, let's see if we get that breakout. How long till we take out that 60K low? That I would expect, if we're going to dump to take out that 60K low, probably within the next 2 weeks, honestly. Nami is setting up pretty nicely for some bear divs. If this starts to roll over here, we'll confirm hidden bear divs followed by bear divs with money flow draining out here. Was there news today? Is this pump being caused by news of maybe negotiations going well or something like that? Guys, today is going to be a very volatile day because it's kind of geopolitically a very important time frame. And depending on what happens between now and 8 p.m. Eastern time, and even after 8 p.m. Eastern time, we can see heavy influence of news affect the markets. So if you're trading today, just be aware that heavy volatility could come in. Like if there's a deal announced that, hey, negotiations are going well and there's going to be a deal made, that could be seen as very bullish for the market and could cause Bitcoin to pump up. And if nothing happens until 8, and then at 8, something more aggressive happens, that could be a very bearish catalyst for the market to go down. So just be aware today is a little bit more, could be a little bit more volatile and tense than normal days, normal Tuesdays, just because of what's happening geopolitically. We are finding some resistance here, but I want to make sure we actually get that rejection. Okay, bear divs confirmed now on Market Cipher. Bear divs confirmed now on Nami. I want to wait for a 5-minute candle close. Let's see. Okay, 5-minute candles closing. Confirming potentially some 5-minute bear divs as well. And we even had those 15-minute bear divs setting up. If you want to be safe on this short, you would wait until we get back inside the channel. And yes, it's going to be less, right? Because then you're going to have to adjust your position size based off of that stop loss. You're going to have to use, you know, a 0.39 instead of a 0.2% stop loss. But let's see how this plays out. I'm going to be... I'm trying to get into more scalps during the live streams for you guys, but I don't want to rush into anything necessarily. Actually, losing this POC is what I would want to see. If we come down right now, hold this, then I think you are going to continue to the upside. And we're attempting to see our first bounce right now from that POC. Where are you at? Let's just get rid of that for just a second. They're now saying there's a 2-week delay on this pump, but nothing has been confirmed. Two-week delay on the pump. Okay. You took the short, Dr. X. Okay, you took the short. All these moves are just preparing for the Trump announcement, I believe. Yeah, that's why I'm being Machi HK. I agree. That's why I'm being a little bit more cautious today on even on scalps, because of like days like this is when you can really see false moves. User I don't know how to say that your name there, but Simon Dixon is always speaking there as well. What are they saying about this as far as that goes? Is it more bearish news or more bullish news? What are you hearing there? Yeah, 5-minute bearish CVD divergences. Okay, let's look here. Actually, we're seeing in some ways 5-minute bullish CVD divergences because we are seeing higher lows in the price action while we're seeing lower lows in the CVD. Now, it is on a decrease overall in open interest, so it's not bullish absorption we're seeing here. But with that is, as far as CVD divergences go, that's a bullish CVD divergence. Now, if you're looking from here, okay, I see what you might be saying. From this high, these here to here, you are seeing some bearish CVD. But now that it's dumped in here, I would say that bearish CVD, you have to look at the more local CVD, right? So the more local CVD is from this here, and look at that huge long just spiked in here. Yeah, this is not gonna, guys, we're breaking out. This is a breakout here. Okay, with volume, breaking out of the channel with volume, breaking above the POC. What was important, what we just saw now, and this is why I was waiting to short, is we back tested the POC and then look at the imbalance come in. As soon as you back test it on even the 1 minute, 5-minute time frame, you hold it, and then now you see the explosion to the upside. So let's see if we get the liquidity grab. We're in the golden pocket right now. We just saw this into our golden pocket. Okay, hitting into the golden pocket with grabbing the liquidity from the channel, the highs of the channel. But you know, this, I think this is going to keep going, but we are still setting up for some nice bear divs coming into this resistance above us. And now that we're breaking out of the channel, one thing that we can look at, now that we're breaking out of the channel pretty nicely here, even if we reject from this golden pocket, we could see a small pullback to back test this channel and then continue up. Or we're going to blast straight through it right now, guys. I mean, it's looking like this thing wants to go. And this choppy overlap, man, I'm so sad that we didn't get down. We didn't roll over and get down here. But I went with the fresh look at these long positions. Okay, so let's actually diagnose what's happening here, because we did just see a dump on open interest. As soon as we hit the golden pocket, guys, you saw a dump on open interest. So that could be some longs taking profit. But man, spikes in your CVD. Nice volume on this push to the upside as well so far in that last 5-minute candle. The way we're chopping around at this golden pocket, It's looking like we want to bust through it. You still do have the bearish CVD divergences between this high and this high. And let's go to our 15-minute. I want to be paying attention to this 15-minute now. Nope, invalidated on Market Cipher. Not quite yet on NAMI, but the fact that Market Cipher's invalidating them. I think we could see continuation up, guys. And we did bounce from the Bybit POC here. So you broke above it. You back tested it. This means we could come take out 70K. 70K and come up to like that $71,000 area. Remember, at $71,000, guys, right around, it's a zone. The bigger zone up here. Value area high coming in around 70,800. We have a naked weekly point of control coming in around 70,900. 7870. And then we have the pitchfork. We have our 1.236 fib extinction as 0.886 and even a daily up there. We're not really seeing the rejection we want to see at this golden pocket. It still could happen. We just got into it, so let's give it a few minutes here. But it's not looking like it wants to reject. Yeah, not looking at all like it wants to reject. Decrypto, welcome in, man. Yeah, guys, please smash the like button. If you get any sort of insight into the market from this live stream, or if you're just enjoying the live stream at all, please hit the like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. We did also earlier today flip that VWAP. Actually, you know what, this hour, flip that VWAP locally. So that's a sign of strength. So if the 4 hour starts moving above the 200 MA, making an impulsive move, yeah, let's see. I mean, we're starting to make some pretty aggressive move right now to the upside. Okay, Iran asked for a 2-week delay on the deadline and open the strait in the meantime. Wow, that's big. That's really big, guys. This could be some bullish catalyst for the market. I think there's only 4 hours left till that deadline, so it makes sense that this time frame they would be reaching out for some sort of negotiation. And thank you for letting me know that, Decrypto. Guys, real quick here, I just want to take a second to shout out the partners of the channel. So the main partner of the channel is BYDFI. They're a VPN and KYC free exchange. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. If you do sign up using my affiliate link in the description below, you can get a minimum of 20% discounts on trading fees, and you can actually earn up to 40% discounts on trading fees if you deposit some large amounts into the exchange. They're offering up to $8,100 in futures trading bonuses, depending on how much volume you move in the futures markets. And they have some of the best initial deposit bonuses in the entire industry. A 50% deposit bonus on $100, guys. That's more than most exchanges will do. Actually, almost every exchange won't do that for $100. They're giving 20% deposit bonuses up to $1,000 and 10% deposit bonuses up to $20,000. I've also partnered with BYDFI to create a Telegram channel where I do try to keep you guys updated on what I'm thinking on Bitcoin. If I'm taking any trades on Bitcoin, the altcoins, you can tag me in the general chat, ask me questions in there, join BYDFI using the affiliate link and deposited the money. You can click the Telegram link in the description of this video, or RPink posted in the chat just a few minutes ago. And in that Telegram verified channel, you type in /verify and then your BYDFI user ID. And once you do that, you'll automatically be put into the main Telegram group. And once you're in, you're in. Second partner of the channel is BYDFI, or excuse me, Blowfin. Blowfin is another non-KYC exchange I've got. I partnered with them recently. They're giving VIP 1 for 30 days. If you deposit just $5, you can get a $10 voucher and a 20% deposit bonus on $100, going all the way up to a 10% deposit bonus on $10,000. The two KYC exchanges I'm partnered with are MEXC and Bybit. Bybit's offering up to $30,000 in futures trading bonuses. MEXC's offering a 10% initial deposit bonus up to $1,000. And then lastly, we have NAMI down here. NAMI is a momentum and money flow indicator that I use for all my confirmations on my trades. So as we're coming up to key resistances or down to key supports, I'm looking for confirmations in order to see if that trade is more probable to play out. And since I've been using NAMI, my profits on my trades have drastically increased because I'm not just blindly looking to long or short a level. I'm looking at if it has proper confirmations that it will play out better. So NAMI's greatly helped me with that. I have partnered with NAMI to get you guys 50% off. So if you do use my affiliate link in the description, and then when you're checking out, use discount code DIVINE50 and you guys can get 50% off NAMI. Okay, that's it there, guys. We are still just chopping around the golden pocket. You are creating some potential 5-minute bear divs here. And let's look at how does our hourly time frame look. Man, money flow looks pretty strong here, guys. And we did have a bull div on NAMI coming down into that. You know, there was a golden pocket here. I just didn't like it. It's pulled from an internal low. And it's not the best golden pocket, but it was also the Bybit POC. Yeah, money flow, even though we're seeing bear divs, money flow looks pretty strong here. How does our 4-hour look? 4-hour green dot. Money flow's attempting to curve back up here again. Another thing, guys, we practically filled this imbalance that was created on Easter Sunday. Not all the way, and that's why I was really looking to come down to this golden pocket at 67.5, because look at, you would have filled that imbalance that was in there of this giant candle. Okay, what are you guys saying? Oil dumped. Okay, oil dumped. Chat and Portanala, welcome in, man. You took the long from 67,900. Okay, well, you're up on that, man. You are coming into a golden pocket, so just watch that golden pocket. If we do start to reject here, let's see, 67.9. Wow, you got in there pretty low today. So yeah, good job on that. There is still the potential of making a lower high. So if you start to reject from this golden pocket or from the better resistance, I think is above us a little bit more, you might want to take some profit. And by the way, that's not financial advice. I do not give financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I would be, if I was in that trade, I would at least take some out and protect position. Lost X, welcome in, man. The ceasefire's not true. Okay. So let's see, historically BTC doing well. Okay, I'm not sure. You guys, I'm not looking at the news right now. I'm streaming, so Bitcoin has never been through a serious war. That's true. Bitcoin has never been through a serious war. Oh, Pakistan PM is asking it of Iran. Okay, so doesn't sound like it's confirmed yet. Crypto Shaw 256, welcome in, man. And thank you so much for signing up on BYDFI. It is a way to help out and say thank you to the channel, guys. So thank you for that. Do you think you could ask them to add chase limit order function? Yes, I will. Actually, I will ask them that. Crypto Shaw, let me reach out right now. There you go. Simple as that, Crypto Shy. Just asked him right now. Taco Tuesday. Heck yeah, my friend. I love Taco Tuesday, actually. I love tacos so much. Mexican food is one of my favorites. Iran didn't ask for delay. Pakistani PM asks on X for a delay and the Strait to be opened. Not Iran. Okay, wow. So, guys, this could all be a false pump here, because if it's not actually going to happen, that could be false. And we are at the golden pocket. We are seeing some bear divs. If we start to, let me throw that back on the chart here. Oop. Ceasefire not confirmed. Okay. Awesome. Thank you guys all for clarifying that. Any idea where to look for the best place to look at most recent news events? Well, man, social media is actually pretty good to look at what's happening in the moment. You just got to be careful on what social media you're following. Yeah, and this is the thing, guys, trading these extensive news events today where there could be massive volatility depending on the news. It's that's why we be careful here. That's why I'm really not looking to, I'm being very cautious about my trading over the next 12 hours. Very cautious about it, because I don't know what is going to happen that could cause, imagine something catastrophic happens at 8 o'clock. And the markets nuke because they think global recession is now guaranteed. This could be huge today, guys. So we have to be aware of all of this as traders. I understand we're technical traders and we're looking at the technicals, and technicals do work even in these volatile news times, but there's definitely can be catalysts, very big catalysts that follow from what's happening. Man, this golden pocket's really trying to we're not really rejecting here, guys. Look at, got a dump below it. We're starting to get back into it now. Honestly, this looks like it wants to continue to me. How's the order flow look? Some of those long positions are closing out at the golden pocket. You see how we're now seeing a dump in open interest here, and it's now, CVD is going down. So what that is, those long positions that opened up are now taking profit at this golden pocket. We are seeing those positions that just opened up taking profit. But even on the 1 minute here, yeah, this in some ways looks a little bit corrective. Just get rid of that for a second. That was me TPing, sir. Awesome, Time Attack. I'm glad you got that, man. I'm glad you got that. Just made me some tacos. Ah, Quails. Awesome, man. Isn't this a fourth wave? One more push for a 5. So, Arthas, Salvatore, if you're talking about from a couple Sundays ago, we cannot say that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because there's overlap between these highs and these lows. So now you could say it's the only way you could say that is if you're looking at a contracting diagonal in here, right? Then you could say that yes, you could still get a new high, but contracting diagonal is far less probable than the zigzag correction. So you generally go with the more probable scenario until it's been invalidated. Now, even if you're looking at from this low, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you've hit your golden pocket from the lows of wave 3 to the highs of wave 3. And if you hit the golden pocket from those lows, which was at $68,000 and 68,043, then it invalidates the fourth wave. So you couldn't say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because you've hit that invalidation of the fourth wave being the golden pocket. Interesting. Bear divs. Wow. I mean, are we going to reject here, guys? Let's see if we can get this 5-minute candle to close actually outside of the golden pocket. We still haven't had a candle body close outside of the golden pocket. Volume would suggest a third wave of either a C or a larger degree 3. Are you talking about from today's lows, Adrian? From these lows in here? Because, I mean, what do you have? A 1, 2, 1, 2, and then this would be a 3, but you'd really want this to extend a little bit more if it was a 3. And then seeing some 4 5s come in. And that could be your C wave. Or, you know, if it's going to be a larger 3, then I would expect this to continue a lot more. Okay. First, not quite yet. We haven't. From 68,339. I see what you mean. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so you. But your lows of this entire corrective move are down here. So yeah, but you would still be looking at 1, 2, 1, 2, and then this is the third wave. So the third wave wouldn't be done yet, right? You have a 1, 2, 3, maybe a 4 and a 5, and then but you'd still want this to extend probably a little bit more. So let's look at that then, Adrian. If we're looking at from the lows of wave 3 to the highs right now, if you hit the golden pocket at 68,855, it invalidates a wave 4. You want to bounce between the 382 and the 0.5 Fibonacci. So, you know, coming down to 69.1 to around 68,984. Okay, look at daily money flow on the daily. Okay, let's check that out real quick here. Yeah, crossing into the green today. Okay, interesting. Now, Nami, on the other hand, has been pointing down, and with a bearish close today, it could have crossed into the red. If we close with a nice green candle, it's not going to, it's going to continue to rise back up here. One minute until this candle closed, guys. The world may be going into greater war, and you are worried of your little meme coin. Oh, I will look at that still. I'll look at Render. I'll look at Fartcoin. U.S. jets warming up, unfortunately. Uh-oh. Wow. Benny, welcome in, man. Okay, we're bouncing from these prior highs on the breakout of the channel. We did close that 5-minute candle underneath the golden pocket. Confirmed bear divs on the 5. No 12 on NAMI. And on the 15, I believe, on NAMI as well. Yeah, 15 on NAMI as well. It's just not looking like it wants to dump, guys. This channel in here, 1 minute. And you can see on the pump, you saw a spike in volume on the pump, and now on this corrective move, your volume is decreasing here. Nice, Crypto Clown World. God, and this could be so messy if civilians get involved, guy. Like, I don't want to comment too much on it. I think war in general is crappy. But as let's just say as traders, you have to pay attention to the news that could cause volatility today. I'm not short yet. No, I am not taking this short yet because I'm not seeing a clear rejection here. Honestly, if anything, this looks like a little bit of a corrective structure at the golden pocket, and you're going to bust straight through it. And anyways, like I said earlier in the stream, the better resistance is above anyways at the 786 naked daily point of control, and it's your small range value area high. If we look at the range of the past day, this area in here. So if you pull that volume profile, let me check this on Bybit real quick. What is going on there? Yeah, so at 69, let's just say 69.6, close to 69.6 on Bybit. And on Coinbase, we're looking at, well, it's much higher on Coinbase. On Coinbase, the POC is at 69,750. But this is the area I'm interested in. Yeah, no, man, I'm not going to take a trade if there's not something there. If there's nothing there, I don't, it's pointless to take a losing trade if you don't see the confirmation. Yeah, I'm trying to ignore the news and just trade the chart. Not quicker. That is generally a good strategy. Ignore the news and trade the technicals. But even the technicals here are really not showing right now a very key rejection. You do have some bear divs on the chart. Money flow is looking pretty bullish, and that bullish money flow will always overpower a single drive of bear divs. And then we did break out of this channel here. So yeah, start talking about 100K so we can get the shorts filled. Yeah, it does look like the crypto legislation is there. It's always going to be on the burner, it seems like, man. It's just annoying as heck. Solana loved this move. Okay, let me check Solana because I did. Wow. Okay. Yeah, Solana's breaking up. We're at that 786 up here. Man, okay, now I have to say Solana is looking like, because guys, there was a possibility on Solana that we did see some sort of contracting diagonal in here. I know it doesn't look the best, but you could see some sort of contracting diagonal in here. And then you dropped to the golden pocket, 786, and now you could see a rise up here. And let me just get rid of this stuff for a second. Get rid of this. That's old. That's old. See, the thing with Solana is you can count a pretty nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if this 5-wave impulse is done, you're looking for a bigger corrective move towards the golden pocket and 786. So we would be looking at this golden pocket at the value area high of the range around 89.67. That to me would be a pretty good short because you started from the highs of the range impulse. So now we want to see a corrective move, and then you could get the big dump down. You are back above the value area low of the range. It's been real choppy, but a lot of that was to come down and grab liquidity into a naked daily point of control. I would also be watching this POC around 85 because your anchored VWAP is there from the lows. People are okay. It's the psychos at the top. Yeah, it really is the psychos at the top. And the reason why they are so psycho is because they don't ever have to deal with the consequences personally of these things that happen. Nonsense. Welcome in, man. No, I'm not going to stay live until the end of the negotiations. Definitely not. Sorry, man. I got things to do with the kiddo. Why are we trading boring BTC, ETH, and SOL while ZEC has beautiful bull divs on approaching 4 hours 786 and value? If it's already pumped 34%, then we missed the long. But ZEC, yeah, it would be hard to get into a long right now with how much we've pumped. And now this is, I mean, it definitely does look like this could continue up here. Nice money flow here. But you have potential 4-hour bear divs developing. Well, not, yeah, you do actually. 4-hour bear divs. Let's look at our 8-hour money flow. 8 hours a really good time frame for market cipher B, to look at money flow, and it is coming back into the green. And Nami looks strong in the green. So yeah, I would say this is likely to continue. Let's throw on, and you are coming down. So with ZEC, we want it to come down between the 382 and the 0.5. If we're looking at a larger 1, 2, 3, 4, and then seeing new highs coming on ZEC, you're looking at kind of this level holding or this level. And we are right around that 382, and it looks like we're forming, to be quite honest, it looks like we're forming a triangle. So let me get rid of some of this. I'll just hide this real quick. We can get rid of this. This has been old. In some ways, you're forming this triangle, right? You're breaking out of a triangle, potentially. Get over here. Yeah, something like that. And then what I would like to do is pull the range for that. You're breaking out of the value area high too. Yeah, nice. I mean, I would expect us to come up to grab liquidity at 290. You're most likely going to, yeah, 290-ish. You're going to most likely grab that liquidity. Scary thing is, though, look at this from this low. 3-wave corrective move. Then you get a 3-wave corrective move down to make a lower high. Now, are we just seeing a 3-wave corrective move to take out those highs before rolling over? So I would really be watching that 290. Money flow looks pretty good here. And you are bouncing between the 1-to-1 and the 1.236 for your larger. So it was not only your 382 Fibonacci on that macro Elliott count, but you got this 3-wave move down. This could consolidate a little bit more before seeing that big push up. Let's look at the 1 hour. Didn't mean to do that. I definitely wouldn't be longing this because you already missed the long on this, but unless you're doing some super low time frame scalping where you're interested in kind of following like some EMA scalping or something like that. Sent an alert there. Yeah, awesome time attack. Just play the range until it breaks, right? Check out the No Agenda podcast. They point out all the BS and news and leave you way better informed. Okay, well, thank you for that, R Pink. Iran side said there's no negotiations right now. Oh, BTC's dumping. Okay. Is it dumping? Yeah, it's starting to. I wouldn't say dumping yet, but you're starting to see that rejection. You're still kind of trending within that little channel. Look, you're still kind of just trending within this channel here. 1 minute. You could almost say volume doesn't look the nicest, but if you want to say this is like a 1 minute bull flag, volume was increasing largely during the pull formation, and it's been decreasing on that little correction. Yeah, that's serious crypto. That's why I set that alert on 290 on ZEC. Because if we SFP 290 on ZEC, I'll look for a short there. Yeah, no, it's all good, Dr. X, for sure. Thank you for letting me get back to Bitcoin, though, or alerting me to Bitcoin, because I am kind of watching this. And Solana's at that 786. See, the thing is, even Solana, it's not looking like it wants to reject, guys. 1 minute is starting to show that choppy overlap. But it's only the 1 minute 1 minute chart, so you know, calm down a little bit there. I was saying that to myself. Solana's not looking bad, guys. I mean, look at this. Flip, small rejection at value area low, flip VWAP to support, and then you're starting to push. I'm telling you, when Solana really starts to move, it's like Bitcoin will follow Solana sometimes. Solana's the first one to move. And then in that important liquidity grab, I laid that out to you guys. That's why I took profit there this morning on the short from 82.5. It was also our golden pocket. A little bit lower than the golden pocket, but it was also your golden pocket area. Yeah, okay, so we've already hit that golden pocket. The next zone I would be watching for Solana is that $84.5 to $85 zone. Oh, interesting. So this naked daily, let me go on the 1 hour to make sure that was not tapped. Okay, guys, actually, if we see an SFP of yesterday's highs into this naked daily, that is another level we could be looking at. And we still have a naked daily from yesterday that we're at right now. But I like the one above us a little bit better. Let's look at our naked weekly here. Okay, now no naked weeklies until way up around 92. This morning, though, that drop that we saw this morning was right into that golden pocket. It was also a naked weekly point of control. So obviously it's not going to be naked anymore because we hit it just now, earlier today. But you dropped a little bit below the golden pocket to grab the liquidity. And you had your naked weekly point of control. And it looks like we're starting to push up what looks like impulsive low time frame price action. Nice volume increase here. Let's go, Solana. I did move my stop to break even on Solana. Did I get stopped out? No, not quite. Okay, let's see. Okay, Slick Shoes, welcome in. You are short from the top, this top, okay? Wow. If we start to close now some candles below this prior high, that is when we can really start to look at potential shorts, in my opinion. I'm being very cautious here because we're not really seeing the rejection. We're really trying to hold this. With an entry on Solana. Now, for me, the entry on Solana was earlier today. The SFP earlier today was definitely the long. And if you didn't take that, we had the SFP down here on like even the 15-minute time frame. It was such a nice little SFP zone. And then even if you started to reclaim the golden pocket, that's when you could have long this. Now, I would definitely wouldn't be longing right now. The SFP of yesterday's highs into this naked daily point of control could be a short. Could be a short here. So that would be the next area, but I would only take it on the confirmed SFP. So as we're coming up here, I'd want to see it starting to slow down a little bit, hit into that naked daily point of control and start to lose that high. Then you could look for the short stop above wherever that wick is. And then, you could even just target the back test of the value area low. That's still a good 8.5 to 1 risk to reward ratio trade. But if you don't SFP it, like if you come up here, you don't SFP it, then I would expect to come up to like 85. There is a nice big increase in volume on this push up, so it's a little bit worrisome. Yeah, Jojo, thanks, man. I guess it is pretty dry sometimes, right? I'm sorry, man. I can't be super exciting like Jason. I just can't rap like him, man. Oh, Bitcoin's going to zero thing. Interesting. Yeah, that Dan guy's hated Bitcoin forever. Yet it keeps growing, right? So what we saw was a bunch of longs coming in on the breakout. And then now that we're getting to the golden pocket, they're just taking profit. Those longs were taking profit here. So we're seeing this drop, this little bit of a corrective drop, but it's not new shorts that are coming in. Look at our open interest is decreasing here. So it's mostly just longs taking profit here at the golden pocket. To me, that's the sign that we could just continue to break up here. Thanks, D Dogan. Jason is talented too, man. He's good. And I appreciate that, R Pink. You know, I've got my own style. A cider is dry. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm dry too, though, so for sure. This is getting a bit long for a bull flag. So in a bull flag, you're looking for that like 1-to-1 Fibonacci time. If we do our trend-based Fibonacci time, you're past the 1-to-1 time frame. If you break past this 1.618, I would really start questioning that. It's a valid bull flag. You don't want your flag to be too much longer than the pole. So in other words, we need to break up pretty quickly here. And you want to see a spike on volume when you start to break. If this comes to the top here again and sees another rejection, I wouldn't like that. Thank you, Jojo. Yeah, thank you guys. You guys are all awesome. Yeah, you have to have a good pull to flag. I would say this is decent here. I'm talking just about a 1 minute one, you know, and even if this breaks up, I would still be expecting some resistance in this area. So maybe not hitting the overall target. The overall target for this is probably taking out those 70K highs from yesterday. Let's just do that. Right now, we'll throw it to the low. Yeah. I don't know if I'd expect it to break all the way up to its target. Those 5-minute bear divs. But once again, look at even on the 5-minute, you're not closing below these prior highs. It's trying to flip these prior highs to support. Break above, back test. If it holds, you are expecting to take out this local high here. It's really trying to hold. I love your level-headed delivery as much as I love Jay. So I got caught up in his act of fear the other night. I got caught up in the emotions, closed along, and the thing kept running. Oh, man. Well, yes, that is the one thing when it's you got like a lot of emotions involved, whether that's coming from a stream that you're watching or yourself or news. It can cloud it a little bit, but hey, Jesus, at least it was a win for you. G save 77. It's a win still. So Jason himself has closed trades because the chat, and he's talked about that. He's like, man, I have to not only deal with my own emotions, but the emotions and the opinions of a bunch of other people. Okay, this is starting to look kind of bad here. Where is that Bybit POC? Okay. Oh, he kept his trade running too. Yep. Let's see. So what were we looking at earlier from at 68? So Adrian, I know you were looking at this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if we've invalidated that yet. No, and we actually haven't hit the 382. So if you come down to 69085, I want to check it on Coinbase. 69113, and it's the bottom of your channel. Okay, that might be a decent scalp long opportunity. Like micro scalp, right? So like if I was to take this, as soon as we bounce from it, I'm entering long. Stop is going to go wherever that low is. And even just targeting the highs, you know, that's a really good scalp there. 11.5. And of course I would leave some open until we came up. What do I think about spot buying right now? So if you're talking about Bitcoin, I do think we're going to have one more macro low on Bitcoin. I do think that it's going to come down in 58K-ish. I'm not necessarily, I did buy some at 68,000 and yeah, 68,000. I bought some Ethereum around 2,100, I believe it was. But the next buy is going to be sub 60K. But yeah, I don't think it's the worst to start DCAing, because anytime Bitcoin's 40% off its all-time highs, historically, if you start DCAing when it's 40% off its all-time highs, you eventually, once, you know, that bear market ends, you always tend to find that you're glad you bought. In the traditional markets, they generally say, like Warren Buffett and those guys say, anything off 20% off its all-time highs, it's a time to start DCAing if it's a good, you know, stock or project or whatever. For Bitcoin, I double the because it's double in the volatility. I generally double it as well. So 40% off all-time highs. Yeah, and if the question is, even if it comes down there, how low will it stay down there? Well, but that's the thing. I also have limit orders set already. Like at 58K, I have limit orders set to buy, spot buy at 58K. So even if it comes down there, personally for me, for, you know, enough time to fill the order, 10 seconds, whatever, hopefully it fills, you know? And it's not like I'm not trading with millions of dollars and, you know, hundreds of millions, so it should fill. Yeah, my time attack, it is generally a over 1 or 2 years minimum, right? But I guess it depends on, like, if we do say I've been holding it for a year and we're coming up to like a key swing resistance with bear divs on like the weekly or the daily, I'll sell some of it. Leave some of it to run, I'll sell some of it. I kind of play it the same way as I play, like if you're entering a long trade and you get up to a TP1, you'll sell 50% and keep some to run. I'll generally buy DCA when we're, you know, in a bear market down below. And then once we start coming up to break all-time highs or like up to, you know, those key resistances, I'll start selling it off in chunks, and I'll generally sell at least 50% of it off by the time, you know, we're breaking all-time highs. Yeah, I'm trading with billions too, the 0.000001 billions. All right, let's see if we reject here. You know, now looking at this 382, it's not aligning so nicely with the bottom of the channel anymore. It would have been a little bit nicer to do that. If we reject here, I'm not so sure I would take that 382 trade. But let's see if we can't get this break up here. And then the one thing we can look at, if you're looking at shorts, guys, because we are at the golden pocket area, we could just do a very local golden pocket pull. And if you come up and sweep that second pivot of the channel, 69,400-ish, and roll over, I personally don't think we're going to see the rejection here, but I don't know. I know as much as you guys know on that. I can't predict what's going to happen up there, but that's an area to be watching. If we're going to see a true break of this, we want to see volume starting to come in here. We want to see a big spike. Okay, so fresh longs coming in. This move right now that we're seeing, it's fresh longs coming in the last 5 minutes. Here we go. Yeah, this is exactly what we wanted to see. Okay, see how we're starting to spike up now? Some fresh longs are coming in. Nice looking little spike there. You know, last 5 minutes, longs have been coming in. No, I really am not buying millions in Bitcoin. I wish I was there, you know. Schlong's attack. Yes, dude. The schlong is the plan, right? The schlongs are so good. Someday, Jojo, the thing is, it's building, right? Even if you start out with, you know, $5,000, $10,000, it might take you a year to build that. You double it in a year, maybe, but as that compound interest grows, that's when you can start to really build that future, you know, wealth, real wealth. It's actually like an exponential growth curve, right? So like, you're starting to trade out and you're making 1% a day. And if you're making like 1% of $1,000 a day or 1% of $5,000 a day, you know, it's a decent amount, but you can't live off of it, right? You compound that back in and say after a year of compounding, if you're consistently profitable overall throughout the months, you know, you maybe have one red month or something, within a year, you might have $20,000. And then you start making 1% on $20,000 every day, you know, 1 to 3%, you know, something like that. Then by the end of the next year, all of a sudden you're at $100,000 or, you know, $80,000. Then you're making 1% at $80,000. Okay, now all of a sudden you're making enough to live off of, right? I would say, you know, 150K or so. If you have 150K and you're making 1% a day off 150K and compounding that back in there, once you start getting up into like the $250,000 to $500,000 position size trades and you're making 1% a day, you're making thousands of dollars a day, easy. And that is when you can not only live off of it, but if you're compounding that back in, that's when you start building real wealth. And now once you start having $1 million position sizes or more, you're making 1% a day off that is when you're in that life-changing category where even one good trade a month can literally make you more money than most people make in half a year or so. So it's a slow, consistent building process. And a lot of people, they get impatient down here. You know, even if you start out with $100 and you're making, you know, $5 off a trade or, you know, $2 off a trade, they're saying, why am I wasting all this time and effort to make so little money? I'm going to pump up my leverage to act like I have $50,000. And then one mistake wrecks you. You have to start all over. But if you can really be patient and consistent in this area, and it will take you longer than you like, and you will make mistakes too. So it's not going to be always, you know, straight up like this, but it's about the process of building and knowing that what you're learning is a skill that's repeatable. And then after some time, after some years of trading, then all of a sudden you're comfortable. And that is when you can really start to build that real wealth. But it takes time at first. It takes time. It takes patience. It takes discipline. Discipline's a big thing, and sticking to risk management, because especially at the beginning when a lot of people start out with $5,000 account, you know, you say you throw 5,000 in an account and start out with 5,000, in 5 months, you still might be at like 6,000 or something. Yeah, right. Time attack. Then you get a girlfriend and your whole entire bank account goes away. But well, yes, I mean, You get a girlfriend, it's a sign you made it, but then your bank account goes away. Trust me, man. Like, especially if you get a girlfriend with kids. Oh man, the schlong joke's great. And it's awesome. I think it's like 90% of traders in the crypto market are guys. And so we generally have a better, I guess, sense of humor when it comes to like raunchy jokes and stuff like that. Okay, so we're still inside the larger golden pocket, and this is exactly what we wanted to see, guys. Once you started to see that channel breakout, now the bull flag is starting to play out here. It took us a little while. We had to be patient within this corrective mode here, but this did look more corrective, and now we're starting to impulse through the golden pocket, starting to impulse through the bull flag. So let's look up towards that next area of resistance. Unless we get the SFP here, it doesn't look like we're going to get it. But I would really generally be looking up. Let's check this, 69.8 to around 69.9-ish. And if we continue to develop bear divs as we're coming up here, that is when we see it. So yeah. And look at, the news guys today, we had to be cautious about the news today. And I get that I've been all talk today and not taking any trades, but there's a reason why. Is I understand these days like this can get really aggressive. And for me, I'm just being patient with it. You know, it's only one day. And I did take a trade today. I shorted Solana yesterday, took profit on that, and I did take a long on Solana today as well. 2-week extension. Okay. Sweet. Very cool. Okay, coming up to the 786. Now, guys, this might not stop here. With this news, this might not stop. But we are right about to hit that naked daily point of control. And this does look like the bull flag is starting to play out. So remember, the bull flag target was all the way around 70.3-ish. But this did look like a 1-minute bull flag to me. The way that and look at the breakout, breaking up on a huge spike in volume here. We are coming into the resistance. I be careful here. We can delete this channel now. This channel was just an intraday channel that was forming that selling exhaustion. We saw the 1-hour bull divs. We saw the bull divs coming in here. Let's change that just to the 786. With this 2-week negotiation, guys, we might, I think this is likely we could come, if the market's starting to get bullish here, we could come up to 71K, you know, that 70.9 naked weekly is really what I'm watching. I would expect to find some resistance here. We're not really forming local bear divs here. Let's check our 5-minute. Okay, yeah, we are seeing potential signs of that. So let's... Okay, very interesting, guys. That was some shorts that we had were getting stopped out. You see this big dump in open interest in the last, well, 5 minutes. We did see some fresh shorts coming in right at the bottom of the channel. Like right at the bottom of the channel, you saw some fresh shorts coming in. So it's a little bit of a squeeze that we're seeing right now. And because this is a squeeze, you're at resistance. This is an area where you would expect to reject if the squeeze is going to end. Now, if we see new long positions coming in right now, it is going to continue to push the price up. let's see, we can just target that value area low. We're attempting to see some resistance come in here. You can see every time we get above that naked daily, we wick above it. We're starting, we get pushed back down underneath it. I have not taken a short yet. The thing is with trading, guys, you really want to see confirmation. And with the bullish news that we're seeing, we don't really have anything except for 5-minute bear divs. But even on like the hourly, at the bottom today, you saw those 1-hour bull divs coming down here into the hourly. And this is starting to look pretty aggressive here. And I'm not trying to short every little internal resistance of an aggressive move up. Money flow looks bullish here. Honestly, it looks like we're going to come up to 71K. That's what it looks like to me, is that we're going to come up to 71K. At the very least, you're likely to take out yesterday's highs. And if you hit that 886 Fibonacci, which we're hitting exactly right now, you're hitting that 886. Let me make it a different color for you guys. So because we're in a larger uptrend for the past 2 weeks, making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher low, you're hitting the 886. Even if we get a small pullback from this 886, you expect now to break this high sooner rather than later. And I would say with the news, probably sooner rather than later. Yeah, it's 70K. I'm not looking to short. If we get a confirmed swing failure pattern, I might look to short. But other than that, I'm not looking to short right now. There's no short opportunity for me here, guys. We're pushing up. Did we see? Now we're seeing, look at this. I told you guys we want to see longs stepping in. Well, guess what just happened? Longs are stepping in now. So after seeing a little bit of a long squeeze, we're now seeing fresh long positions open up. This is starting to become an aggressive, healthy move to the upside. I really would expect us to continue pushing up here. Let's grab our liquidity highs from yesterday, 73, 78. Now remember that bull flag breakout was a little bit just above this. But there's nothing really in that area of resistance. You can see this is even a fair value gap in here on the 1 hour time frame. Yes, time attack. Thank you, man. With God, all things are possible. I agree with that 100%. The highs at 71.9 are horrible, though. Wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, Big Nick, I agree with you. The reason why those $72,000 highs, man, there is so much liquidity resting above those $72,000 highs that I wouldn't be surprised if we do come up there. The only thing is if we come up there, it's going to invalidate the possibility of that double 1-2 impulse to the downside. But you can see coming to grab those highs at 72,000 right into that major liquidity cluster right there. So I definitely would be watching the SFP there. Five-minute bear divs are about to be invalidated on market cipher, not yet on NAMI, but NAMI printed a hidden bull div on the 5-minute, which is a continuation pattern. So you expect it to continue on this bounce to at least break that high. And we did. And we're breaking it with volume. Once again, like that bull flag, right? In my experience, guys, 1-minute bull flags really do play out quite a bit in trending days. And, you know, at least most of the day we've been trending. We started with a little bit of a dump here, but I don't know if we're going to come up there either. Lost X to 72. The liquidity up there concerns me. And yes, it is right into a macro golden pocket. Let's zoom out to the 4-hour real quick. And if we look at, and this is really messy, so I'm just going to go to my other chart real quick. If we look at pulling from that $76,000 range high down to the lows that we made a couple Sundays ago, and we look at that golden pocket, you can see that golden pocket is coming right into that liquidity. Very, very key liquidity cluster right up here into a golden pocket. And anytime you have a liquidity grab, especially with the amount of liquidity that's resting up there into a golden pocket, I mean, that would be something to, if we do come up there, everyone gets super bullish. We're breaking structure, but you just do this, right? So it is something I'm paying attention to with the amount of liquidity. And remember, in sideways ranges, liquidity grabs and volume levels are like the most important thing. And then if you can add some Fibonacci confluence, looking pretty good. I think we're back inside of our pitchfork. That's our bigger bearish one. Let me... Yes, you're back inside of your pitchfork. So one of the things, guys, we were chopping around the value area low in the bottom of the pitchfork, but you can see over Easter, we broke back inside that pitchfork. Man, I should have had this on the chart. You broke back inside the pitchfork. You rejected that lower limit of the lower band. You come down to back test bullishly, now re-entering back within the pitchfork. Because we bounced here, I honestly would expect to come up at least to the highs of that band. So right around $71,000, which happens to be where your naked weekly point of control is. I don't know if Bybit has it, but I know that Coinbase has it for sure. Yeah, see this area here? This is the big zone for me that would be pretty nice, right? And you have a daily level in there as well. Oops. The daily level is at 71,293, I believe it was. But because we're reclaiming the POC, there is definitely now the probability and a high probability that you're going to come up to value area high. Is it going to happen right now? No, you could see a small pullback from the first touch of this lower band again. And it was your 886 Fibonacci. And 886 will give you a small pullback. But now that we've hit that 886 Fibonacci, I would be expecting eventually to take out this high at yet Monday's highs. Okay, AVWAP from the previous range is around 72K. On Bybit, it's a bit higher. It's at 73.5, but yes, Coinbase's anchored VWAP. You're right. It's right around 72K, 72.3. And by the time we get up there, if we are going to get up there, it's probably going to take a day or two. Very nice confluence up there, coming up to that high. But I personally would like to see us come up and tap this $71,000 level now. And let's just look at today's price action, guys, and diagnose this. Does this look impulsive to you? Not really to me. It looks like, if anything, a three-wave corrective move, and now this is starting to look impulsive here. So because we made a three-wave corrective move, made a higher low, and now we're starting to push up with volume, you expect to take out your 71K high. Maybe it's not going to happen right now. You could get a small pullback from this area, right? Naked daily point of control, 786. And you wicked up a little bit higher. And in our small range, just from the last 24 hours, if we can hold, we broke through the POC with volume. If we come back down right now and hold this right now, I expect to come up and grab that high. So let's see if we can hold this. We'll pull this volume profile. There we go. We're back testing that POC of the last 24 hours. This reminds me exactly of the small range we formed around 90K before we dumped to 60K. You're talking about this guy right in here, this running flat that we saw before we dumped to 60. Okay, yep, we did make a lower high there before dumping, but the thing with this is it was after an impulsive move down here. So it was more of a flat correction. I would say this is more trending in here. And your market structure in this was already on your side, right? The trend is your friend. Lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Boom, you dump. Here, the trend is the opposite. But if we are going to make a lower high, yes, that 786 naked daily point of control is your area. Starting from $15 to $115,360 in 10 trades. Wow. Okay. It's never been more fun. Man, but one wrong turn on that, you could be all the way back down at 15. You're right. Just because there's significant liquidity doesn't mean Bitcoin has to take it, but market makers often will come up and take that. The probabilities are they do, you know. It doesn't always happen, but like if you're thinking about, there's a bunch of shorts that have their stops above those highs at 72. And if before seeing a significant move to take out 60K, the market makers might want to come up there and stop out all those, reset those shorts, and then you get the dump. And that's why SFPs really work out too, as far as trades go. Unfortunately for the market makers, a lot of people are learning to trade SFP, so they come up to 72 to stop out all those, and then people just re-enter again on the SFP, and there's still liquidity up there after the dump. But it tricks a lot of the retail, the uneducated retail traders. See me gap at 84K. Man, if we can break above 72, then there's a chance that we could, but I still don't like Crypto Clown World, how when we rejected 76K, This was impulsive price action to the downside when you hit that rejection from 76K. And if that's the case, then we have, you know, kind of this WXY in here. And then you're looking at building some, you know, 1-2s, 1-2s. You're going to want to see some explosion eventually. This is very hard to count impulsively. I just don't like that there. As, I mean, look at all the choppy overlap in here. What are you going to say? Some sort of contracting diagonal in here? Yes, you could. But even this in here, yeah, actually in here you can count a double 1-2 impulse completed. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, though, the fact that we saw a major pullback from the 1-to-1 Fibonacci extinction here, it's not that's a bad sign in the bullish scenario. The only thing you can now say is 1-2, 1-2, and maybe you want to see this break. And even that scenario, you're probably going to keep going past 72. So it was just a 2-week delay, right? It was not a no resolution to it. I don't like how we're starting to lose this. Let's check our hour time frame. So if we just have a wick past that naked daily on the hour, yeah, this could get actual rejection from this box if we start to close this hourly underneath this POC. 69,750-ish. Of course, when the news first hit, you're going to get that aggressive pump. This could just be a pullback to grab some of this imbalance in here. What's going on here? Okay, yeah, just some late longs getting stopped out. So this is a little bit of a long squeeze. You can see all these longs that came in on that news. All of those longs. And now we're seeing a little bit of a drop to stop out those longs, to stop out that imbalance that was created. And do we continue up after that? That is what I'm going to be looking at. So I'm not necessarily looking for shorts here, guys. If anything, maybe if we bounce from those prior highs, we can look for a scalp long. Bounce here, come up to take out 71K, 71,350-ish. If you don't bounce here, then it's a no-go. Roy, you took the short. Did you get in at the naked daily? Moving averages, yeah, they tend to pull price action towards them. There's some significant resistance around the previous high at 76K. So those must be a little bit higher time frame EMAs then, right? Or MAs, moving averages. I am done not moving my stop loss to profit. I forget to take profit early and lost the trade. Oh man. Bansbell, the thing is whether you think you're going to break through or not, like at this naked daily, say I did long earlier today. I already have my limit order set here for a take profit. Whether we bust through it or not, I am going to take some profit there because I know that it's a potential rejection area. So that way, if we wick through it real quick and then lose it real quick, it took profit for me, you know, because you don't know if it's just going to wick through it and go, or if it's going to keep going. If it keeps going, you took some profit. It's still a win, you know? So I like to set that limit order at a TP, at a resistance zone. And then if it wicks through it and keeps going, all right, well, I just made some money and it can, and let some play out. Yeah, it does help, man. Limit TPs help. I don't like limit ordering in too much, but I do like limit TPs. All right, give me a second, guys. I do got to leave. I could probably stick around for another 30 minutes here, guys, or 15 minutes. I can stick around for, but I'm thinking about taking a scalp long here. Shoot, is this still good? Yeah. Let's go in there. Okay. I am going to attempt a small scalp here. We've pumped quite a bit today, so I didn't enter with a full 1%, but you can see pretty much it's a 0.25%. So you could 4x leverage your whole account. And if you lose, you're only going to lose that 1%. So, I didn't enter quite 1% on that, but I am in on this scalp long trade here. Okay, wait. I'm looking for price to come back to the 15-minute 21 MA and blast off. What time frame is that? Oh, 15, never mind. 15-minute. I don't know. I don't think this is necessarily going to the casino, man. We're in bullish market structure. We are breaking up with high volume here. And I'm just playing a small scalp, playing the trend. Trend is your friend here. And we hit that 886. The reason why I'm more confident is because we hit that 886 up here. If you hit that 886 in a larger uptrend, then eventually you do plan to come take out the long that the 886 was pulled from, or the highs that 886 was pulled from. And once again, flipping what used to be a high into support, continuing higher. Oh, yeah. Okay, well, man, big deals. If it's working for you, you know, it does sound a bit, as far as risk management goes, it sounds a bit risky, but, you know, you do you, right? Like, if it's working for you, you do it. Yeah, in these markets, it's definitely a good idea to take quick profits, especially on scalp trades. Guys, on this scalp trade here, if we come up to this naked daily and start to reject here, I'll pull some out. Move my stop loss to break even. I bet you that's going to be, it's probably going to be your 50%, your 0.5 there. Okay, maybe. So golden pocket's going to be just above that. So yeah, if we do something like this, if we start coming up here like this and start to reject this, I might pull some out. ZEC is hitting 290. Money flow looks really strong, though. Oh. Okay, you've already hit that golden pocket there, so you're not looking at that. We're looking at your 786. 786, and then let's look at, do we have a naked weekly up there? Dang. Okay, you got the wick above. Let's see if we can start closing below. And even in this scenario, guys, with the way the money flow looks, I would play this first as a scalp, but it doesn't look like it's wanting to SFP. But if you do get the SFP, I would even be looking at back testing the pitchfork as a potential TP on that. It's not though. It's not SFPing. It's seeing it looks like it wants to see a breakout here. Is Bitcoin breaking up again? Okay, Bitcoin. Yes, okay. Bansbelt, scalping is definitely a completely different world than swing trading. Swing trading is a lot slower of a pace, and generally you get in on those big swing supports and you'll take full profit at like a swing resistance area. I understand that a lot. So what you would have to do is shift your focus a little bit to knowing that you're doing lower time frame scalps or day trades, shifting your focus to like setting those limit TPs right away. And then as soon as it hits, like set an alert on TradingView, set on your actual exchange, the TP there. And then as soon as you hit that TP and that alert goes off, you're moving your stop to break even. I generally like to TP 50% on my first TP and then let the rest run. But if it's like a super small scalp like this scalp trade here that I just took here, if we start to reject the naked daily, I'll probably pull out 75%. And then if it comes and does this and then I get stopped out, then it goes back up anyways. Oh, well, you know, because we could be doing a 3-wave corrective move before coming up. Ooh. Man, this POC is fighting us. Yeah, actually, what we're seeing right now in the last 10 minutes is fresh shorts coming in. I just want to look at this last minute here. Okay, we're seeing shorts at the POC. Shorts coming in at the POC here. So either those shorts are going to get squeezed and we're going to bust straight through that POC, or they're going to be successful and I'm going to get stopped out. Yeah, pre-positioning for bad news. He's pre-positioning for bad news tonight. Okay. Well, now we know that it's been extended. There might not be bad news tonight. Yes, and that liquidity up there at 70, you know, pretty much 74, 70.4, 70.5. Yep. Okay, starting to squeeze those shorts, guys, that just entered. We just saw shorts entering. And now let's see if we get, so look at, see how our open interest might be starting to drop here. Some of those shorts might be getting squeezed out. It's a little early to squeeze them right now. They're just a little bit underwater. But if we can continue to pump up here, we might see a squeeze straight through this naked daily and golden pocket area. Here we go. Let's see if we get this. There we go. Come on. Let's go. Now, if we come up here and we don't SFP, oh, well, I'm already going to pull some out at this high. No matter what, I'm going to pull some out as soon as we wick this high. I'm pulling some of this scalp trade out. But I am going to leave some of it running until we get up to 71K or like 70.9, where that naked weekly point of control is. 4-hour RSI over always leads to a dump, the overbought one. Let's see, what is our 4-hour looking like? 4-hour. I mean, it's getting up there, right? That RSI, it's starting to get up there in the 4-hour, but it's not quite overbought. Let me actually throw on the RSI. Yeah, it's not quite overbought yet, but yes, those 4-hour, I mean, RSI is great as well. Another thing, if we look at with both Market Cipher and the RSI, if we can push up here up to 71K and say we push up relatively quickly, like in the next day, and you have 4-hour bull divs coming into this resistance, 4-hour bear divs coming into that resistance, that would be a nice little short opportunity there. Because overbought bear divs or overbought RSI usually gives you a drop, but if you have bear divs on an overbought, that's even better. Hopefully we push up here relatively quickly to this golden pocket. But guys, just know our market structure is bullish. We did have some bullish news today. Bullish news isn't always a good thing. It can be a little bit of a make a false move. But this is, at least this delay is somewhat good to keep the markets from going into total panic. A lot of the markets were looking at the panic from tonight. So I think that we are going to continue up here. If we do reject once again from this golden pocket and naked daily point of control, right around 69.9, I'll probably pull some out. And I'm not, when I say rejection, I'm not looking for if it comes up here, wicks, and then goes down for 10 seconds and then starts to come back up. I'm saying like, if we start to wick and close like a 5-minute candle underneath it, hit it and close a 5-minute candle underneath it, I'm going to pull out like 75%, move my stop to break even. But overall, because we hit the 886 here, because we're in bullish market structure, I am expecting us to take out the highs from yesterday, and then really 71K, that 71K area is the next area I'm looking for a short. And I will try to keep you guys updated if we do come up here. Now, if it's overnight, obviously I'm going to miss it. I'm sleeping. Sleep to me is more important than catching one single trade. But if we do come up here and hit, I believe, let me make sure my naked weekly has an alert set on it. I want to make sure if we hit that naked weekly within this zone of resistance, the biggest thing I'm watching is the naked weekly point of control. So I want to make sure we have an alert set there. And as far as other short positions, I don't think I would look for a short at this local golden pocket at 69,950, but I would look for a short off the SFP of the high from yesterday. So if you do pierce above yesterday's high and then you start to lose it, I would probably look for a short there on some sort of double top. And yes, we could still see 60K for sure, man. For sure, we could see 60K. If we start to take out 72K and not like an SFP, but if we start to break above 72K, then I'm going to start getting worried that we might see 85 before we see 60. But we have to remember we're in a bear market, and I do think we are going to see one more macro low coming in on the charts. I think it could only be as low as 58K. But we're going to have to see how we react if we keep pumping here, because there is still a bullish possibility from those, let me zoom out here, from those weekend lows 2 weeks ago at the value area low here at the value area low, we could still be looking at, and it's ugly right now to me. It's ugly right now to me, but a wave 1, wave 2, wave 1, wave 2, and then you're going to explode in your wave 3. If you're going to explode in a wave 3, you're probably not going to stop at 72K. You're probably going to keep shooting up through. And then that means you're also going to have some 4 5s, and you're probably going to take out your 76K highs and come up to 78K, which is our next major resistance zone. So, but guys, thank you, R-Pink. Guys, I do got to get going. I got to go pick up the kiddo, and I will be live Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be in the Telegram. If you guys join the Telegram, remember, all you have to do is sign up with BYDFI using my affiliate link and deposit the minimum deposit of $100 or more. Once you've done that, click the Telegram link in the description and you type in /verify and your user ID for BYDFI, and that'll get you into the Telegram. And once you're in, you're in. And yes, no, R-Pink, thank you, man. Thank you for always letting me know about that. So you guys, much love to you all. Trade safe out there, and I will see you tomorrow.